Welcome to KGXT, Gen X Talks podcast, live from Central California.
Making plans with the boys. I'm gonna hit the town. Yeah, I'm gonna make some noise. I'll push past the pain and my wounded pride. I'm gonna live it up. Yeah, stay out all night. But sure, I've had some better times. And I can't count all the tears I've cried. And maybe down my last time. Yeah, but the blues to me just fine.
Need to get done.
The pod track is recording. Streamlabs is recording. All the lights are going green. The trap is always clean. Okay, well, I guess we can begin now. It's time to start talking.
Well, good morning.
Well, good morning. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Let's not miss that. Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you very much.
Now, we going to start the program, or should we just start talking about how beautiful you are today and how lovely you look on this gorgeous West Coast morning?
Yeah. Whatever you want. You can just.
Let's start with the podcast there.
No, got the compliments coming. Come on. It's my one day a year.
Welcome to the KGXT studios. We are broadcasting 200 feet below occupied California. It's the Gen X Talks podcast. Yes, this is the one where my wife beats the shit out of me for about an hour. So
No, I don't.
We should get started with that right now. Let the beating commence.
Why do you lie like that?
It is your favorite thing to do, is to beat me up in front of other people. Just because you can say, look, he's like a big lion, a big bear. I can poke him and he won't ever strike back. Okay, I know.
All right.
So you know what was funny? That I don't think anyone's taking me too seriously on this. We have some staff thread, and we have some other friendship threads that we're in with our phones. We text, and one of them, everyone's wishing you a happy birthday this morning. And I said to one of them, I said, well, I'm good, because it had to have been 1 a.m. I went to the bathroom and got back into bed, but as I'm going back to the bedroom,
we passed in the night.
I'm passing you. I gave you a little fist bump. You gave me a fist bump, and I said, happy birthday.
Yeah, I was pissed. I was so tired. I didn't catch on. I was like, wait a second.
That was your happy birthday. And you looked at me, and I just got back into bed and went back to sleep.
Okay, I am going to beat you up, because not one time this morning have you given me a birthday kiss.
No?
Nope.
Are you sure? Because we got close a couple times. Wait.
Nope.
You know what? I think you're right. I don't think we did.
Thanks a lot.
Well, hey.
Wow, you are supposed to be worshiping the ground I walk on.
To be
today.
fair, you did get a fist bump at 1 a.m.
Oh, yeah, I felt that all the way to my toes. Yeah.
Well, you got to get a thing. How many times in your entire life did you ever get a fist bump from a guy or a family member or anything? That's a unique strategy
I
you took
get
on
it
there.
from the kid every single day, multiple times.
Let's see.
Hello?
Yeah, the kid. I know. Fist
he's
bumps,
just
blah,
ignorant.
blah, 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 blah.
Hey, so I guess
They said, Nick says we're coming in loud and clear. Good morning, loud and clear. Happy birthday to Mama X. That came through on the radio station.
Thank you. Hey, I have to tell you,
what?
the pest control's coming today, and it's not for me.
What?
The pest control guy. Remember that guy Mason that came over last
That
week?
kid? That scrawny little 12-year-old?
Yes.
What about him?
Well, the guy that you beat the crap out of, and you made him come into the house. And
Okay, first of all, I didn't beat him up that bad. Mary Mathis was laughing. She was sitting next to me laughing so hard. So it couldn't have been that bad, or she would have said, stop. She'd have said, you're beating him up. Stop.
So this kid was going door to door selling pest control, like contracts, like, monthly or yearly, whatever you wanted to pay. And he comes, and I didn't answer the door. You did on this one.
Well, this was a couple of days prior, and I said, come back on Friday or something.
And he did. He came back. Well,
but I wasn't getting up out of my chair to go talk to him again.
No, you were quite rude.
How is that rude if I don't want to? I don't have to talk to every single person that knocks on my door.
But he came in, he spoke to you, then you sent him away again.
Well, okay. Yes. And I was beating him up about stuff, and because he had a good, he wants to get rid of. Let's face it. Even on the podcast, people know we've had an earwig problem.
Yes,
and he came in saying we're going to get rid of the earwig. So I was like, all right, I'll listen to what you got to say. But he does mosquitoes
because they only crawl. Now it's because they're a nuisance to you that you're going to do something.
Oh yeah, when I get angry, then the wheels start turning. Yeah,
I've never seen a man more horrified of earwigs than you.
Horrified.
Oh, yeah. You jump. He goes and shakes the sheets out on the bed before you go lay down at night.
Okay, that's like saying when you go camping in the high desert, if you shake out your sleeping bag for rattlesnakes, oh, you're paranoid about
rattlesnakes.
You're
are
paranoid
different.
about rattlesnake. No.
He thinks everywhere there's earwigs.
When I get into bed, I shake out the pillows, I shake out the blankets as much as I can. Then I go to
because we live in the Old West.
It is.
You got to do that.
It is not that big a deal, but I'm just cautious.
It is a big deal.
I'm not freaking out. Do I panic? Do I flail around?
Yes, because it's always an earwig. He has one itch on his body, and it's like, it's an earwig.
It is not true. I don't have an
bullshit.
epileptic seizure every time I got an itch.
Do.
Oh, my God.
You're totally afraid of earwigs.
And
but anyways, go ahead.
So Mason comes in, and he's telling me this whole thing. And then he goes, well, so we'll sign you up, and you got to do 12 payments of whatever it was. You got to do it every month. And I said, okay, I don't want to do that. And the kid looked at me like, well, then why'd you let me talk for 20 minutes? And I said, I told him, I said, I know what you're upset about, but every one of you guys that's come by for the past 20 years is how they all come by and say, well, you can get on the monthly program and blah, blah, blah. Or we can do a one-time, cleaning. We can spray everything one time, do inside and of your house one time, and there's a fee. And I was waiting for you to get to that part. And then Mason says, well, we don't do that.
Yeah, they don't offer that.
And I said, well, then stop talking and go away. And he goes, what? I go, I told you, you can show Mason the door.
You did.
There's no reason to keep talking because I said, look, dude, I don't want to sign up for a monthly contract. I'm not going to do it. I'm not interested in that. But if you had a one-time thing, I could go along with that for a little bit. And he goes, no, we don't even offer that. So he left.
Yes, he did.
After he figured out that we were Gen X Talks, and then, which I thought was, I don't know a lot about how Instagram works, I'll admit that, but he got on Instagram once he figured out who we were. And then I guess in Instagram, when you log on to like our channel, it shows a list of how many of his friends already follow us on Instagram. Right. And he's scrolling through the list. He goes, wow, there's over 30 or 40 of my friends that already follow you. And I said, well, aren't you behind in the times a little bit there? So I'm sure he ran out the door and told his friends that he was here. But that was it. I was done with him. Uh-huh. I figured that was it. And then he came back, what was it, like half an hour later?
I don't know. It was a little bit. Yeah, there was a knock at the door. It was late. Well, not late, but it was after. It was dark.
It was time passed. And then he's like, I got to talk to the big guy again. So you let him in. And I'm like, what do you want now? And he goes, well, I talked to my boss and we're going to do a special thing just for you. And
he goes, I've never heard of this before. I was like, oh my goodness, what just happened?
I suppose they want us to say their name on Gen X Talks. I don't even know the name of their company.
I can't remember.
So that didn't work. If their plan was to give us a special thing with a special plug so we could talk,
I could find it.
I'd have to say who they are. I don't even know who they are.
I got an email.
So they're coming out today. Mason and his crew are coming out today. They're going to spray everything down. It's supposed to work. I asked him. I said,
White Knight Pest Services.
White Knight Pest Services.
That is the
name. I guess they're out of Utah, is where he told me. But they service all over, and they're here year round. So White Knight Pest Services, they sound pretty cool, but I asked him, I said, look, just don't lie to me. Tell me the truth. And once you spray everything, because I'm not getting the monthly service, it's just going to be gone like in a week. He goes, no. He goes, truthfully, it'll last you 3 or 4 months. He goes, you'll probably be solid all the way till September, but then you won't be after that. I'm like, all right, we're good. So anyway, I beat him up. I pushed him pretty hard, but he at the end of the day, he got his thing. He got what he wanted. So.
The other thing is that he saw the rabbits coming in. So in the front of our house, in the corner of one on our lot, we have rabbits.
Yeah.
The rabbits that have been here since our daughter and granddaughter lived here.
Right.
So they're hanging out, and he had asked me about them, and I guess his girlfriend has rabbits, and he was like, I need to give my girlfriend a rabbit. I said, really?
Got a
I
rabbit
have
for you.
one for you. So we went over and checked it out, and he was looking at the boys, the 2 boys that we had.
If he could just take both of those, we could open, because this is a big walk-in enclosure we have. It isn't just a rabbit.
It's a natural habitat for
them. It's not just like a rabbit hutch or a bunny hutch you reach into.
Think chicken coop.
Yeah, think chicken coop. You can walk inside of this. It's 6 feet tall, and you can move around and do stuff. And the rabbits have a blast in there.
Yes, they have dug hole. I mean, it's natural. Like I said, it's like a zoo exhibit. If he would take the boy bunnies. Yeah.
We'd be down to the girl bunnies. We wouldn't have to separate them. We could open it up. That would be really good.
Yeah. So he said he had already by the time he came back to talk to you about the special offer,
Yeah.
he had already contacted his girlfriend.
And she said yes?
And she was very interested. So that's when he left the second time. We were taking pictures. So
Yeah. We just need to give him both of them and say, you're taking both. I'll just tell him, you're taking both rabbits. I'm not, it's not a question. Here are your rabbits.
We're giving them away free. They don't even have to
Just
buy
take them. So, yeah, that's Mason. And
I just can't. Did you spray cologne in here? Because it's like,
I did a little bit. What?
oh my God, it's radio. Who's smelling you except me?
I did it because of our listeners. I did it for the radio. I drug a brush across my face and my hair. I put on a little cologne. I settled into my chair.
A little cologne.
I don't care if it's radio. It's important.
It's like I'm drowning in it. I don't want to smell like 1985.
No, but you do want to smell like this guy.
Oh my gosh.
What is the big deal? You're making fun of me because I put on cologne
hard to breathe in here.
Because you're making fun of me because I put on cologne for radio. That is a totally normal thing to do.
No, it's not.
It is.
No,
I'm
it
just
really
telling
isn't.
You. Well, you're not a trained broadcast professional, so what do you know? Yes, I put on cologne. So
Oh
what?
man, if you guys could smell this studio right now.
It smells wonderful.
Oh my.
It is ice cold and smells like 1985. So I got to make a little plug here. MarcyZavala.com. 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 Okay, so we got rid of your back pain. People have been asking about that one pulled muscle in your back from whatever. You have been cautious with it for, off and on for the last 3 or 4 weeks. This last week, you've actually gotten away from that pain quite a bit.
Yes, I have.
So now that one lower back muscle that's not giving you fits from when you injured it, now you get to look at the rest of your body and how it's coming together with your weight, with your stamina, with your pain. Now that Marcy's been taking care of you for about 6 months now.
Yes.
And what are the results?
Oh, it's completely positive. Now it's my work that I have to do personally.
Right.
She's done everything I shouldn't say everything, but she's guided me and fixed me to the point where I need to do stuff for me. Like I need to start walking again or swimming. Right. I need to strengthen up that back muscle, which
but the pain.
Yeah, but the pain is gone. Well, also now that the pain's gone, now I want to exercise.
Yeah, now you feel like doing stuff.
Because exercising when you're hurting is not really fun.
I like that they've got that Dr. McDreaming here got your hormones straightened out too.
Oh my God, that's a
big blessing.
I wish more women knew about.
I know the application of the hormone stuff is a little bit like a deodorant, like a stick you roll it on. So do those come in different flavors? Can we get one that's like less bitchy?
No, and I don't want to say they're all like that either. Don't say they're all a cream.
I said some, one part of it to some degree. I said one of the things is a little roll-on thing.
There's no flavors.
They can change it. Can we up it so you're not quite as mean? Can we make it a little? On the side of it, is it like a deodorant stick where it says kind and gentle? Because I would pay extra for the kind and gentle additive in your hormone therapy, whatever that stuff is you rub on.
There is not enough hormones to put up with you.
That's what you have coffee in the morning for and wine in the evening for.
And you still don't listen to my rule of don't talk to me till after I have my coffee.
Well, see, I tried to give you your birthday kiss before your coffee, and you wouldn't have it.
You did not.
And how do you know? You're blaming
lied.
me. You don't know. I'm just saying.
You did. So let me do my pitch. Any lady out there that is, even men have hormones too, but women, if you are just like my age, like 35 or older, and you're just feeling run down and just feeling crappy or whatever, give MarcyZavala.com a try. Go on her website.
One click.
Just there's a little question box or whatever that says, hey, you want to ask her a question? Ask her. It costs you nothing. You can just ask her about it and she'll let you know, and you can go down that path.
The biggest thing I like is that, she's not paying us to say this. This is literally because she's our friend and it's done so good for you. And I know of 5 or 6 other people that are extras that are part of Gen X Talks, the family, you guys out there listening to the programs all the time, that have emailed us and said, oh my God, this is working. And I will tell you the truth. It's an expensive diagnosis because it's not her. She has to refer you to a deal. You have to get blood work and it's enormous.
It's extensive though.
But
it's not like your normal doctor.
You do it one time and every person that's come out after that has said, wow,
Yes.
So I'm just telling you guys, if you're suffering from pain, you are one click away from improvement. MarcyZavala.com. Click the big button at the top.
And I want to tell you that they keep tabs on your hormones too. Like we are now 6 months in, and I just got blood work up to go to do them actually at a specific time during the month, 2 blood tests to see where my hormones are.
And she's got Dr. McDreamy looking over her shoulder with his medical degrees, and he's one of the most sought after doctors in the West Coast. So he's keeping tabs on any conflicts that could come up. It's like getting a 2-for-1 deal there. It really is.
Absolutely.
He does a good job with that. So that is not a paid advertisement. That is just us telling you this stuff works.
Yes. Yes. And I am so appreciative of both of them. I really am. So I don't know what's gotten into you lately. Looks like roles have reversed. You are getting up way early.
Yeah.
You have so much energy, and I don't know why.
Okay. Other than this last week where there's been 3 or 4 days that I've been sleeping an hour, up for an hour, sleeping 2 hours, up for, I don't know what that is. All the other times, you're right. I don't know. I get up like at maybe 4:30, 5 o'clock. I'm ready to go. This last week has been terrible for a couple of days, but overall, for the last month or so, you're right. It's been,
I've seen it.
Although one energy burst I had nothing to do with medicine or diet or me.
Okay.
I didn't tell you the story either. You didn't hear this.
That's why I'm going, okay.
Because I got up and I was kind of groggy. I'm get upset at my desk, TV's on or whatever, and I'm scrolling through the news and grab some ice water, and then my phone beeps that our front camera, one of our front cameras in our driveway, had motion. All right, that happens all the time. No big deal. And I pull up the camera, and you can scroll through the time. You can scroll. You can scroll an hour ahead or an hour back if you want.
Yeah.
And so if there's people or cars zipping around on your screen, so you have to go kind of slow so you can really see what's going on. So I got it to where the alarm went off, and then right next to our Yukon, our old Yukon, there was a guy. I saw a person stand there and then kneel down, scrunch way down. They were cutting off our catalytic converter.
Are you saying you dreamt it?
No, I'm sitting up. I'm wide awake, and I'm watching this, and I look, and I look, and I look. So in my boxers and my cutoff shirt, I just slipped on my boots, took off downstairs, grabbed a bat, figured I wasn't going to shoot the guy. I was just going to grab my baseball, the baseball bat, the red one you have by your dresser?
Bed. Yes.
Yeah, I grabbed that one. I go downstairs. My boots aren't even tied. I just slipped them on. I'm in my boxers, and I go downstairs, and there's nobody there. And there's no way they could have got away that quick. So I still have my phone with me, and I look, and I'm like, what is it? Then I notice there's no car. There's no car the dude drove up in. I thought, well, did he hop the wall? Did he walk down the street? Yeah. And I look again, and I'm looking on my phone, and of course it's in black and white because it's at nighttime. And I see this spot where this dude stands up and scrunches down. And I look under the car, under the Yukon, there's nobody there. And I thought, all right, well, I'll look for footprints because the sprinklers were just on. So I walk around to that side, and I realized what I had seen in the camera was a puddle of water growing down the driveway. And it looked like someone standing up. And when you played it backwards, it looked like them sitting down because this puddle of water grew pretty quick.
You know what that is? Old age.
I just look at, you should, the moral of the story here is that there was a potential criminal in our driveway, and my fat ass was out there with a baseball bat.
I appreciate
ready
that.
to defend our family.
I appreciate
and
that.
you call you know what that is? That's old age because you're stupid. Listen. All right.
It's onset of dementia.
Is that what I thought, and I looked back, and then once I knew what it was, I could see it clearly in the replay. But when I zoomed in, zoomed out, up, down, and made it look like someone dressed in black.
Okay.
Okay, look.
Okay.
It was hard to see.
Why don't we just stop right here and we'll just move on?
All right, fine. I think the words you're looking for are thank you.
I said I appreciated it.
All right, fine.
Are you okay now?
Treat me this way, and you wonder why you don't get a birthday kiss in the morning. That's why, right there.
Wow.
That's what I'm telling you.
All right. So tomorrow is Friday, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Are you supposed to do? Nothing's on the calendar, so I don't know. Are you?
We are busy through Sunday. In case you're asking.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
I'm getting a birthday call from our oldest son right now.
You are?
Yeah, he's calling.
Huh.
I can't answer it.
No, you can't.
I can't answer it. Chris Cuomo's people, tomorrow's Friday. You were supposed to.
I got a call again today. They did call. I did talk to him this week. The lady who's at, she goes, it's supposed to be Friday. We'll talk more. But she said if there's the basic.
Why don't you start at the beginning? Some people don't know
Chris
exactly
Cuomo
what happened.
used to be his brother was governor of New York, and his dad was governor of New York, and he was a big time CNN anchor, and then he got fired. And for the last couple of years, he's changed quite a bit. If you look at his content, he's not quite as hardcore liberal, and now he's got his own podcast and some other. He signed on with another news organization anyway. Last week we got an email and then a text message and a phone call from his producer that he watches Gen X Talks and he thinks it's funny and he'd like to have us on the show. She said on Fridays they like to do something a little more lighthearted.
Right.
And they do little intro stories as long as there's no big news story. If there's a big news story, everybody gets bumped. And we may get bumped anyway. You never know. I mean, they line up 30 people on a Friday. They may only take 10. I could be perpetually next week. You don't know. That's just how these things go. But it does look like they'd like to have us on for part of a segment. And what that means, if we're in the last hour of the show, we may get 5 or 6 minutes, or if it's interesting, they may let us go 11 or 12. They cut you off if it's kind of stupid and boring, then they move on to their next one, and they just keep taking calls and doing that. So, yes, we're supposed to be on the live podcast, a Zoom call type of thing, with all of us on there and talking about Gen X Talks. And I guess he likes the program, and if we're not talking politics, then yeah, I think it'd be fun to do. And I told her that.
Cool. That's very cool. So we'll see how that goes. We'll keep you guys updated on what happens. So I have a chicken update, our chickens. So
you do?
You know my 20 million chickens that I have in the back?
I'm still angry about. Now we're up to 38 fucking chickens.
So the babies we got in February.
Yeah.
So it's 4 months, roughly. They're 4 months old or whatever. They're still growing. And when we get the baby chicks, they sex them and they do the best that they can. So I had purchased 19. And there was one particular chicken that I've been watching grow up, and I've been thinking it's a rooster. And if anybody that has raised chickens and you've done it, for years, you begin to see that hens and roosters are shaped differently. Their feathers are different. Their mannerisms are different. And this one was. One of the things I found was that I caught it one day and I picked it up and it started pecking at me. It was very aggressive. So that was my one thing. Also, its tail feathers were different and it was just bigger. It's just built bigger like a guy, you know? So I've been watching it. Well, the other day I came out to the studio, remember? And I went, uh-oh, we have a rooster.
Yeah, I heard him this morning. He was doing his little cock-a-doodle-doo as the sun came up. And I went, you better shut up, dude. You're going to get yanked out of here because we can't have a chicken.
Yeah, a rooster. I love the rooster. I wish we could keep it, but we can't because we technically live in a residential area now. We were on outskirts of town, but not anymore.
They didn't grandfather us in. So
yeah, they didn't grandfather us in.
Nobody cares about our chickens because we give eggs to everybody and they're quiet.
Yes.
But a rooster is annoying. He's got to go.
Because you know what they say, roosters are cock-a-doodle-doo in the morning? No, they do it
whenever they
anytime.
fucking feel like it.
So in the next few days, he's going to have to go back to the tack and feed store. So we have to catch him first.
Hey, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. He's out there fucking. You hear the studio rocking? I was going to get pissed. I thought it was one of the whole studio's shaking right now for those of you.
What is he doing?
He's cleaning the outside of all the little cobwebs and stuff and reorganizing some things. Unfortunately, he's hitting the fucking studio. Dumbass kid.
All right.
So it's your birthday. Happy birthday. Do you want to tell everybody how old you are? Because you're really.
I don't mind telling you.
Really old.
And what does that make you?
Distinguished. Men look distinguished as they get older.
Oh my God.
We gray
Do you know
nicely.
how old I am?
Aren't we now as of today, aren't we the same age?
Yes, we are.
Wow. 56 laps around the sun for you.
That is true.
Wow.
56 laps.
Okay, you're old. You are old.
Bite your tongue.
You called me old for the last 6 months. Now all of a sudden you're the same age, and now what? Neither one of us are old?
I'm fine. I'm totally fine.
So
we haven't got a birthday kiss, but whatever.
I am not stopping and walking all the way around this table just to kiss you.
Do you see where I rate?
Look.
Podcast rates bigger than me.
Okay, I'll give you 2 birthday kisses when it's over. Okay, can we do that?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I got a serious question.
What?
It's about real estate. And I don't use.
Now? You want to do this now?
Yes.
Okay. I know why. I know why you're bringing this up.
Why?
Because your brother sent me a text today about a house for sale up near where he lives outside of Reno. And your brother doesn't even text his own kids. He doesn't text anybody. He doesn't return your text for days. And he's texting me. And you're a little bit upset. So go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
I'm ready.
I'm not upset. He texted me too this morning. Actually, he texted me first.
It was because it's your birthday. Otherwise, you would not have got a text today.
But it was more than just happy birthday.
Sure
It was a
it was.
paragraph.
I don't care.
He's getting really good. But anyways, no, you've always done all the
Real estate.
searching and real estate and everything in our whole entire lives. I've never dealt with that, even buying a car. You do all that big stuff, you know?
Right.
But I have a question. So, like this house, for instance, they have it listed at...
This house that your brother sent, is that what we're talking about
Yes.
here? Okay.
Let's just use it as
the
an
house
example.
that your brother just sent me this morning, yeah.
Yeah, is listed for, let's say, I don't know what it is.
750,000, I think.
Okay.
It was.
Is there a real estate etiquette? That's what I want to know. Is it real estate etiquette? Can you offer like $100,000 less on a property? I mean, that's a big chunk of money. I'm not talking
you can offer less on anything. I will tell you that years ago, I learned this and I can only speak for California and Oregon at that time. But in California, it was always a negotiation for as far back as I was even a kid, listening to people negotiate real estate prices in California. It was always, they ask a high price, you come in low, they counteroffer, you meet somewhere in the middle when everybody's happy, and that was it. Moving to Oregon for the first time in the early 90s and looking at how, making an offer on a house and trying to do that. Of course, my mother and grandparents had lived up there for years by that time, and they had said, you don't do that up here. They get insulted. And I went, how could you get insulted? So I made an offer on something like 10,000 less. They wouldn't even accept the offer. They go, no. And I didn't realize they were insulted by that. They were like, no, we told you what the price was. That's it. And I'm like, well, isn't there they don't even know the term counter offer.
Oh.
They were so upset. Now, maybe it's changed up there, and we've lived down here for 20 years or so more. But at the time, in California, commonplace. Still commonplace in California. But in Oregon, back then, you did not do that. The realtor wouldn't even, they rejected your offer. Well, what's their counter offer? There isn't one. You just offered 10,000 less. They rejected it. You're down the road motors. So I don't know what it's like in Nevada, and time has passed. I wouldn't mind going and offering less on a house. I wouldn't offer $100,000 less. If the house was $1.2 million, you could probably get away with $1.1 million as an offer. But their house is $750,000, and I think if you offered them $100,000 less, they'd probably be insulted. I think, especially since the house just went on the market, and I think I would probably go up because that's more than I want to pay. Period. But I would go up there and say, hey, look, your house is beautiful. Your property's this. If you can't sell it in the first 6, 8, 9 months, here's my card. If I'm still looking, I'd probably offer you, $600,000. I know that's too low, but just keep me in your back pocket. Be polite about it. But you also have to remember, too, that everyone always, it amazes me how stupid some people can be. It's like if a house is on the market for over a year, they automatically think they're going to take less. Every time. Every time. I've heard all my friends do it too, and my relatives. My brother did it too. So, oh my God, this house has been on the market for 18 months. I'm so going to go in there and steal it at a low price. And they go in there and offer less money. And the old boy looks at him and says, the reason I haven't sold it is because I don't need to. I don't really want to. If I get my price, I'll move. It's been on the market for over a year because I don't need the money. All of a sudden, like, so it's not a guaranteed slam dunk. That is one thing you can look for, is a house on the market a long time. Yes, maybe they're more motivated to sell, but not always. And they're certainly not motivated. They wouldn't, like the one your brother just sent, it went on the market like today. So they would be stupid to accept a low offer today. You'd let it sit for a while. So yes, you can. I don't know, maybe different areas. I don't know what it's like in Tennessee or Kentucky. I don't know what it's like in Texas. I don't know, socially, like you said, is there real estate etiquette? Well, a little bit, but it's probably very regional. I wouldn't know.
Well, if you offered something like that, wouldn't your realtor or the real estate go, kind of stop you right there and
A
say,
good realtor absolutely would. A realtor, when I did that in Oregon, said, you shouldn't offer him less. And I said, yeah, I heard the same thing from my mom. Give him the offer. The realtor did try to tell me, but I wasn't listening. So
all right. Well, it's pretty nice that my brother texted you.
Well, yeah, I think your brother and I get along great. I think we would get along even better if we were, in the same neighborhood or in the same, town or something. We'd be fine. And,
I think so too.
We very much think alike on a lot of stuff, and it would be good for us. Plus, I don't think your brother has a guy friend that he hangs out with all the time. And I don't either. Most of my guy friends have gone by the wayside over the years, so I think that would be a good fit for both of us. So I'm thankful that he's taken time to send me some stuff. But again, people say, "Why do you want to move to Reno?" I don't want to live in Reno. I really don't want to live in any big town. I'm trying to find some things on the outskirts, and that's what he sent. It was just a little bit more than I want to spend.
All right.
So now you know what I know.
All right. Well,
the barbecue was fun.
The barbecue was fun.
Except we had to, we broadcast 2 hours of it live from the studio with everybody here, all the guys here, Scotty.
Yeah, guys. Remember that word, guys.
Why do you guys get so butthurt that your women weren't allowed in? This is the He-Man Woman Haters Club in here.
No kidding.
When I got all my buddies over.
No kidding. So
Scotty
rude.
and Larry.
The women were out, the men were inside.
Didn't you have some dishes to do or something to cook? I mean,
shut the front door.
There's a vacuum. Something needed to be vacuumed, I'm sure. We were taking care of stuff in here.
Whatever.
So Cigar Scotty was here from Beyond the Humidor, along with Larry. Larry showed up. And then and we talk about Marshall in a second. We haven't seen Marshall. Has been a friend of ours. You worked with Marshall years and years ago, but we haven't seen Marshall in 5 years, he says.
Wow.
So he comes and sits down in the studio. He has no idea about Gen X Talks. He has no idea how the studio is now sitting.
No, because it all started after
he left.
After he left.
He moved away to the coast.
That's right.
So he comes back. He's like, what's Gen X Talks? Why is there a studio where the playground used to be in your backyard? Because he's been to many, many, many barbecues. Yes. And then we're in the middle of sitting here, and I'm telling everybody that he got gored when he was running with the bulls in Spain. Of course, that became a big story, and that was a fun one to tell. Then all of a sudden he stops because we're like, now all of us are like 9 shots in, 10 shots in. And he goes, all right, I got to know something. I said, what? He goes, why the fuck does everybody keep calling you the general? And then I realized how foreign that must be to him. He leaves calling me by my first name and comes back, and every single person calls me the general. He's like, okay, I'm not calling you that.
Exactly. What the heck happened there? You know, one of the funniest moments that all of us women noticed was when you guys were done with the live stream.
Yeah.
And the door opened. I swear you guys all like fell out. I wish I had my camera, a video of that, because like you guys all came out at the same time and were like stumbling. It almost was like smoke coming behind you or something. We all noticed.
It was funny. It was a good time, all except for Lotork, who is officially uninvited.
You are so full
I'm not
of shit.
doing that. We were sitting here, and we got to a very sentimental moment. And if you were watching the live stream, you saw it.
As a matter of fact, I wasn't.
Figures. Do you want what you wanted?
I was hostessing.
You wanted in here so bad you didn't even watch what was going on. Yeah, then you really didn't want in here that
funny
bad.
thing about that is we have a TV over the barbecue.
Yeah.
It was on over the television.
Yeah.
So I had it on there, and then everybody was watching it on their phone too. So I kind of heard it in stereo. You know,
it came
was
through
like
at different
delayed.
times. Yeah.
So as I'm walking around, you hear it. It was kind of funny. But.
Well, we got to a sentimental moment of the program, probably an hour and a half.
Aww.
And
because that's what happens when you drink a lot.
Yeah, we get sappy.
Yes, you do.
So we all raised the glass, and we went around saying a toast. Everybody took a turn saying something.
Who started that?
I did.
Oh.
I said, raise a toast, and I said, let's go around the room, and we'll say something poignant about the moment.
Okay.
And so Marshall did, and Tripp did, and Houdini, and then David Black was in here, Larry, Cigar Scotty, and then I said something, and then right at the end, we all raised a glass and started to drink, and it was always something nice, to the show, to good friends, to a barbecue, to everybody who made it. We all started to drink, and Lotork at the very corner he raises it up and goes, and to my syphilis going away. And I couldn't contain it. It came out my nose.
I heard. I wasn't here.
It came out my nose. I spit out the rest. Every 3 other people spit out their drinks. Trippy had just gotten done because he was choking it down, he got it down. And there's Low Torque, just happy-go-lucky.
Drinking away
just
like
drinking
nothing
away.
happened.
And
he
was all proud of himself. He actually stood up on the chair and goes, that's the second time I did that to you. Because I'm thinking the last time that I had whiskey come out of my nose for laughing was years ago. And Low Torque goes, and it was me. And he remembered the whole story.
Oh, my God.
On what, the whole thing on what he did. And I'm like, all right, so he's officially uninvited. If he's just going to sit there and try to make me spit up my whiskey, that's just, he's out.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Marshall, because you surprised me with that.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was coming.
No, you haven't seen him in 5 years. He was your work husband. I had to share you with him because you spent, 8 or 10 hours a day doing your agriculture stuff. You guys both worked at a school that taught kids for a few years.
Yes.
Not very long, but
he was the garden manager and
Yeah.
I was the kitchen manager at that time. And we had a nice little reunion. I was sitting at the fire pit when he came over. But I have to tell you, that day, going back, I got let go on the day that Marshall's last day of work was. He was leaving.
Yeah, he was leaving.
He was leaving. I threw him a party in my kitchen and he left.
A big office party for everybody.
A big office party with all the big wigs and everybody and all our, employees and everybody. And 2 hours later, the executives came in and let me go.
And fired you.
And fired me. And you had texted him because he left for the day. Once the party was over, he left.
Right.
He had no idea they let me go that day. And you texted him. And what did you tell him? Do you remember?
No, I don't.
He said, you texted him and said, why is my wife crying on the stairs?
Yeah, because you came home and you were sitting on the stairs crying.
I was blown away that day.
And I told you, I said, well, it's not the money. You only went to work there for a few years because Briggs got old enough to where, and you were kind of bored. You're like, I'd like to try to go back to work and do something. So you did.
And I loved it.
Yeah,
it was great.
You had great people in there.
Yeah, it wasn't that I needed the job. It was just that I loved it.
But you weren't crying because you lost the money. You were crying because of you didn't understand why they did that.
Yeah, I didn't I wasn't written up. I wasn't doing anything. I mean, it came out of nowhere and it was just like, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So
he was mad.
He was very mad. He's still mad. That's why I wanted to bring it up. He's still mad till this day. He goes, if I ever see...
Don't say the names.
I'm not. If I ever see this person, there's 2 people involved.
One of them, with this one guy, I'm gonna bitch slap him if we're ever out and you go, that's him getting out of that car over there. I'm going to walk up and bitch slap that guy one time.
That's what he wants to do.
Yeah.
And then the other person, he says, I better never run into him. So.
Well, the one is a much younger person. And I think Marshall just beat the shit out of that guy. He's an arrogant fuck.
He's really mad about the whole thing. So he gave me a big hug and he even apologized 5 years later, like couldn't believe that this is happening and stuff. So that was very cool.
Well, they didn't tell him because he wouldn't have stood for that. He had some clout there too, and he would have thrown his weight around. He wouldn't have let it happen. So they didn't tell him.
Yeah, he didn't know, and my boss didn't even know.
Yeah. Your boss didn't know, and you're like, yeah, we're letting her go. When? Like in 5 minutes.
Yeah, they told her 5 minutes before they were doing it. So anyways, that's a story for another day. So did you, we'll change the subject. Did you do an interview this week? Because I was gone yesterday all day.
No, you were gone. I did Bad Dog Tools.
Oh, how'd that go?
It's a really interesting story. How we got involved with them through Jacob, and they were kind of already done. They weren't really thinking about advertising with anybody else. They kind of had their stuff, and then
are they a big company?
Not super big, but they're a powerful company when it comes to sales and dedication from their people that use them, their customers. They are loyal. So
Wait,
Jacob.
One more thing: do they sell in stores?
No, see that was we did the interview. It was with the husband and wife. It was Ann and Joe. And they own Bad Dog Tools, and they actually developed these things 30 years ago. And the way they sold them was traveling to shows. They'd go to trade shows, they'd go to SEMA, they'd go to car shows. They've been to every time they've been up here to the Ag Show, where the kid goes in Visalia, that big one every year.
And I've been there a couple of times too.
They're there. They always have a big presence there. They basically do drill bits and cut off wheels. They do things that grind and cut and drill, that type of stuff.
Okay.
And I didn't think that their stuff was like, okay, well, they're just another drill bit company. Blah 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 blah. Then they sent me some stuff, and I can't believe that they're not worldwide popular with how good their drill bits are. Unbelievable.
Really?
Oh yeah, I got to show a video. I can drill right through a trailer hitch and take the same drill bit, walk over to concrete, go right through the concrete, then right through wood, then right through tile.
Wow.
They showed me some examples during the interview. There's a couple things that their drill bits don't quite work as well on, and they're working on it. But they're absolutely the nicest couple. They're a little older than us, and they're married and they have a kid. And this is one of the things that impressed me about Bad Dog Tools. They probably could be gigantic by now. They could probably be on every Snap-on truck, every Matco tool truck, in Lowe's, in Home Depot. But they very, very consciously did not spend every moment of their life doing this because they wanted to raise a family. They said there are things we've missed. There are opportunities we've missed. There are things we didn't go do, and we chose to stay home because we had,
I like that.
It was incredible
I like that
to
they
hear.
chose family over money and fame.
It was
and
incredible to hear.
stuff. That's awesome. You know who's interested? I asked my brother is a machinist by trade.
And so was the dad of how this company got started.
Well, I don't know, you mentioned it or something. You were talking about it on a live stream, and I texted my brother during live stream. I go, have you ever heard of him? I'm thinking he's a machinist.
Yeah.
He's very sought after in his field and everything. And I was like, I wonder if he knows. He goes, I've never heard of him. He goes, but I'm going to look him up. But I think when we go to Reno this time, we should take those. And
we're going to take a couple because they gave me a bunch of stuff to look at, and there's some duplicates of things. I want to take a couple things up there.
I want to see what he thinks
because
of them
he's been a
stuff.
machinist for 50 years.
Yeah.
So I want to see his opinion. But mine right now, I couldn't be more pleased with that. I really hope they decide to sponsor and do something with the program. They seem to like Gen X Talks, and the interview went really well.
So how do people find them? Are they baddogtools.com?
It's baddogtools.com. Okay. And then, I'm going to fuck this up. What's the promotional thing on it?
Uh-oh.
Is it just, there's a promo code if you buy something?
Is it Gen X Talks?
I think it is, but let me look. Jacob sent it to me.
Baddogtools.com. I'm looking it up right now just to make sure that we are. Oh, yeah, Bad Dog Tools. They are on the East Coast, I believe. I think Jacob.
I think they're in Delaware. Yeah.
There is a lifetime warranty on these things,
It's a lifetime warranty. You send it back and they give you another one.
That's crazy.
It's Gen X Talks. It just, all one
Gen
word.
X Talks is the code word?
Is the promo code. You get
Nice.
money off if you do that. Just, even if you got something small from them, everything they do, this is one of the things I got from the interview. They don't put a product out there until it's as perfect as it possibly can be.
Nice.
They don't have 300 things that you can buy. They don't. They got like 9, and they've perfected those 9, and they always improve those 9 things. It's an impressive company, mom and pop, and they're good people. I had so much fun talking to them.
All right.
And I really hope they do something with this. I hope if anybody buys something and uses that promo code Gen X Talks, it lets them know that we're getting the word out.
So I'm on the website right now, baddogtools.com, and just a few things that are listed. It's multi-purpose drill bits, Bad Dog Biter, rover bits, router bits, saw dog blades.
Do you know why? One of the reasons they're not in a Home Depot, like they never pushed for that. And I didn't even think of this. The guy educated me.
Why?
He goes, when you go to Home Depot and you want a drill bit, what do you go look for? And the first words out of my mouth, well, if I'm cutting concrete, I look for a concrete bit. He goes, yeah, and if you look for wood, you look for a wood bit. If you're going to cut metal, you look for a metal bit. I said, right. He goes, how many times would you go into Home Depot and look for one bit that does everything? And I go, well, I wouldn't, because there's no such thing.
I was going to say,
it would be some cheap, stupid bit that, our drill bit cuts everything. Sure, it does.
And then it breaks off the first time you.
just give me the concrete bit, and I'll take it. He goes, that's one thing we'd have to overcome, is because nobody believes there's a bit that cuts through everything like butter. Until you actually try that.
That would be awesome to
it's
have
incredible.
one.
Yeah, I know. And and he's worked 40 years perfecting this. It's absolutely insane what this thing does. So anyway, not to promote them too hard, but there was a great interview. They were good people, and it's a great product. So I hope that we get to do something with them, because they do enjoy Gen X Talks, and it's a good fit. So we'll see.
Very cool. So
yeah.
Do you have a daughter update this week?
Do you know what she did? Okay, you guys all know 1 foot out the door. She came home, and I said, you said you were coming back to the house today. She goes, yeah, I'm on my way. I just had to gather up my stuff.
Uh-oh.
That's
Where
what I
was
said.
she?
She was over at her boyfriend's.
Oh, okay.
And I said, gather up your stuff. And I didn't press her. I just said, okay, well, I'll see you when you get here. So she gets here. She comes in the studio, and she pulls up a chair and sits down. Now I know it's counseling time. Now I know I'm going to hear some stuff here. So she comes in, she sits down, and she goes, Dad, and she's not crying, but she's very upset. And I'm thinking, okay, so I'm going to have to go figure out what this idiot boyfriend did to her now. And it wasn't that at all. She came to a conclusion because a year ago, for those of you who guys were here at the Gen X Talks barbecue last year, and her boyfriend was here, so all of you that were here remember him, and he was nice enough. He got along with everybody, but I pulled him aside. That isn't true. I did it publicly in front of everybody. I said, if you're here next year, if you come to this barbecue 1 year later and you haven't straightened out stuff with my daughter, I'm going to be fucking pissed. He goes, okay, propose a marriage, you get a house, move forward, plan things, got a year, got 1 year. Well, guess what?
3 months now.
A year is coming up. She didn't wait for the year. She didn't, because she knows I'm going to confront him out here in front of everybody. Like, well, it's been a year, fucker. What have you been doing?
Yeah.
She just went out and said, I'm not waiting for you anymore, is what she told him. She said, I'm not going to move into your house out of necessity. If my parents sell their house next year and they move to, Nevada, I'm not just going to be here because I got no place to go. I'm not doing that.
Good.
But she kind of was in kid mode. She goes, Dad, I want to get a better job. I want to go back to school and get my nursing thing going. I want to have my own life with my friends. I want to enjoy some of my hobbies. I want to get back into the things that make me happy. And I'm like, okay, all right, slow down. That's a great way to feel. It's motivation to get going. But it's kind of hard to follow through on all 13 promises at one time.
Mm-hmm.
And
pick one. She
got stuck on gaming. Because she is a little bit of a gamer girl. And she says, I just want to do gaming. I want to do it right now. And I said, well, okay, I might have an extra computer. We got to wait for your brother. If your brother, he was late coming home and then he crashed out. Said, if he comes, he might have an extra computer around here you can do that with. She didn't want to wait. So she's calling our other son, her older brother, the computer guy up north in Eureka. And he's trying to help her find one that's in the Best Buy store here, in the Walmart store here. And she's coming to me saying, well, this one looks like the one my brother recommended. And I'm like, this is a shitty computer. Don't buy that for gaming. I go, look, here's one rule. Whatever you think you're going to run out and go do because you have no patience right now, you're just going out there. I said, run it by your brother. You take it by, he's in computers. This is all he does. If you send him a screenshot of the specs and he says yes, then you're okay. Everyone, he said no. He goes, what are you buying? Don't buy that. Don't buy that. And she goes, well, I got $700 to spend. So he sent her the specs. He goes, this is the type of computer you're looking for. And she was mad that nobody had one in stock in town. She was angry because she was so impatient. You're not going to like this part. You don't know this part. She ordered one last night in her haste because she was I want to play computer games. I want my life to start. I want to get away from my boyfriend and begin me. And playing video games was like the closest thing she could start doing. She spent $1,200 on a computer. And then she came and asked me for money to help buy the computer. And I said, no, I'm not doing that. She goes, why not? I said, well, I said, we may have one here. You're so impatient. You won't wait for Briggs to look around and see if we have one. That's first. Number two, I said, you're impulse buying right now.
Yeah.
So I'm not in favor of that. I said, you have a birthday coming up. If you want me to give you your birthday money right now, I'll be more than happy to do that because I was going to give her some money on her birthday. That's what she usually wants.
Yeah.
I said, but that's all I'm willing to do. And then I told her, I said, you're being impatient. And she goes, I know, I'm being impulsive. I don't care. I said, oh, fine.
Wow.
But then so she leaves and Briggs walks in and I kind of blew up at him. And I said, just so you know, your sister's putting herself in a little bit of financial peril right now. And sometime this month, she's going to come begging me for help. And all I'm going to do is remind her, I told you not to do this. And you did it anyway. And with Briggs, I said, pay attention to how I'm parenting. If you're not going to listen to what I tell you, all you're going to get on the other side is a big fat I told you so. So you better listen. If I'm giving you advice and you're not paying attention to it, be prepared. I'm going to treat you the same way as her. He got it. Although, we this is kind of bleeding into his update. He still God, how do I put this without making the story too long? Because you guys want an update on the kid. He's lazy. He just doesn't complete things that I want him to do at all. I always have to follow behind and see what he's done. If I tell him pick up all the dog shit, he misses 3 piles. If I tell him dump all the trash in the house, he'll miss the bathroom. He just does shit like this. He's been doing it for years. And so we got to a point where and this is some of you guys already know this story from listening to the Bottom of Glass Nation show. I said, I'm going to give you one chore. You're going to do stuff around here, but one chore you can't fuck up. And if you fuck it up, you can't live here. I said, you got to take the trash can to the street every Thursday night so it's there Friday morning. Don't ever make mom do that again, because you always remember before anybody and you're dragging it out there really early. I said, if you forget, you can't live here. Now, all the other stuff you're lazy about, we'll work on it. You're lazy with chores. You're lazy with this. You're lazy with that. But if you're lazy with this one thing, you can't live here. Out of 5 weeks, he did it twice. He missed it 3 times. I sat him down and said, look, dude, I hate telling you this, but you can't live here. You got to move out. And he looks at me. I said, you think this wouldn't be too bad of a place to live, but you just won't do those trash cans. You won't set an alarm. You won't make sure you do it. You could set an alarm you can set 3 alarms on your phone, but you're lazy. So he had said, don't worry. I was planning on moving out. I got arrangements, and he really did. He had all these apartments he was looking at, and then he realized he couldn't get into any of them. Nothing was working out. Now it's coming down to the time of moving out, and he's panicking, and he's really stressing out. He's throwing up. He's playing basketball in the street, trying to calm his mind. He doesn't know what to do, because I'm going to make him go live in his fucking truck. So then we came in, and I said, all right, here's what you're going to do. You're going to pay rent just like your sister. You do have rent money, don't you? And he goes, yeah. And I said, you're going to get up every day and you're going to shower, and you are going to make your bed, and you're going to pick up your room, and you are going to be ready to work by 8 o'clock. On the days you're not working for me, fine. Your day just begins at 8. Go do what you want. But you're not sleeping until 11 anymore. As long as you live here in this house, that's one thing I'm going to insist on. Or if you don't do it, if you show up late, you're out. So it's been, a couple weeks, and he's been pretty much doing it. He thanked me. The other day, he goes, thank you for making me get up. He goes, I like this routine of getting up in the morning. But he fucked up on something. Oh, he told me he made his bed and cleaned his room, and he didn't. He lied. And I said, you're out. Not forever, but for 6 hours. And he goes, 6 hours. Okay. I said, no, you can't come back to the property for 6 hours. That was a lot harder than he thought. He had nowhere to go. Couldn't go to, he tried all of his friends. They were busy or gone. Now he's wandering. He's going to go sit in a library for 6 hours. He had nowhere to go. Mm-hmm. Then he came back. He's like, yeah, that wasn't fun. I go, well, the next one's even longer. If you value living here, do what I tell you. So he's in this state where now he's picking up on what I'm throwing down about what I'm doing to our daughter, Jade. And he's understanding that he's got some things in front of him that he's trying to get out of the way, because he's going to be in the same position on how I'm parenting. He's been juggling stuff around, but now he's stable. He's like stable with where he's at. Uh-huh. He's figuring stuff out. He's getting his feet under him. He is trying a little harder. He is moving some pieces around the board. But I will, in the middle of all this, I was trying to talk to him, and I don't lean into him real heavy, but I made some conversation with him. I said, well, this is why, you get destitute. This is why women they'll get a sugar daddy. They'll go for sex because they don't want to have to work. And I said, you can either work you can get sex and get paid, and he says, yeah, if I'm gonna do that, I'd rather have a sandwich than have sex. And I said, what? Where did that come from? Out of this whole conversation, he goes, yeah, I just think, if those are my choices.
Food over sex?
That's what he said. And it reminded me of his older brother, the tree-hugging, liberal, pot-smoking computer guy. Yes. And then when that kid was about 12, I said, you want to go have a steak dinner at this restaurant, or we can go to the strip club and they have sandwiches. Now, any 15, 16-year-old guy I know is, let's go to the strip club. I don't care. My son looks at me and goes, well, what kind of sandwiches do they have at the strip club? I said, does it matter? He goes, yeah, because I don't like turkey sandwiches. If they got turkey sandwiches, I don't want to go to the strip club. And then this idiot comes along and says, if you got a choice in life and you're gonna get food or sex as a reward, as payment, or a job, he goes, I'd take a sandwich any day of the week. I'd rather have food. So I really need to do a DNA test on those kids.
I'm gonna think. I don't
So
know.
there's an update on the daughter. She's frustrated. She's making bad choices, but she's here.
I have a comment about the daughter.
Okay.
We have like a quote unquote game room upstairs. It's an old bedroom of one of the kids, and we had an extra computer desk up there.
We did. Yeah.
I don't think you noticed. She came and asked you, hey, can I have, nobody's using it. Can I have the computer desk?
And I told her, yeah.
Okay, so it's gone from there, but everything that was put on top of it was just thrown onto the bed.
What?
Yeah, it's just thrown. And I'm thinking.
But there was things that were set on there because we didn't want them broken.
So I noticed this morning that it's all on the bed. And I was like, and who does she think's going to pick that up? I'm a guess under the assumption she thinks I'm going to pick it up. But yes, it's all over the bed. So if somebody were to come stay, that bed is filled with everything that was on top and underneath.
She also said, hey, I need a computer monitor because she ordered a computer tower, a really expensive, nice one with no monitor, no keyboard. So she's been scavenging around the house. And she says, hey, in the game room, there's an old monitor in the corner. I said, if it's still in there, you can use it. Nobody wants it. Nobody, Briggs games with his new stuff.
Yeah.
So then she took it in there to her room and then was telling Briggs, can you help me set up my computer when it gets here? And he goes, hate to tell you this, but that monitor is not going to be very good for what you're doing. It's an old crusty monitor. It's going to lag. It's going to look horrible. And she goes, well, what do I do? He says, you bought a very nice, powerful computer. You need a monitor that matches it to make any of this work. You're gaming. And
I had told her when she came to me, she was telling me, she goes, oh, I'm going over to Best Buy. And it was getting later. And I'm like, well, just be careful going over there. But I said, Dad hasn't been to our Best Buy in a while. And I said, I want you to know it might be a good idea to call them first and feel them out a little bit. I said, because the last time I was at Best Buy, they didn't have a whole lot of inventory.
Right.
I said, but also, you've never bought a computer before. I go, you make sure you need a monitor, you need a keyboard, you need a tower, you need a mouse. And she was like, what? She assumed it all came in the whole package. Yeah. And I said, well, they have those, but that's not what you're looking for.
No, so it's a big mess. And Briggs had to straighten her out and
this
go,
is
look,
not going to come out pretty.
She goes, well, how much money am I going to spend for he goes, a decent one's going to be $300 or $400 just to, get you where you want to be. Maybe you can find one on sale. She can't spend any more money right now. So she's making some choices, but she's trying to be impatient and hurry all these new ideas. She has this new strategy in life and she wants to start doing all of them. And she wants to go to
school? Yeah. She needs money for school.
All of them right now. She's going to come to you and go, can you get me into the program with the counselor where they do the Pell Grants or something? I don't know what she's thinking. She's coming to you for that. You're next on that list. All I had to do was listen to her epiphany, and you actually have to listen to all the follow-through stuff. So,
oh, yay.
Yeah, that's she was in a big hurry. She spent money foolishly. The kid's broke, but he, what he actually said? He came out, he goes, because he needs money. He doesn't have money to fix his car. His truck needs an air conditioning compressor. Mm-hmm. And once you lose the compressor and that one belt that runs everything, you're on the side of the road.
Oh, shit.
So he's driving this thing very carefully because it's going to snap any second. He's got no money to buy stuff. He came out here and tried to convince me I was a bad husband.
Husband?
For you, because I wasn't buying you the upgraded Cutco knife set where he could earn his commission.
Oh.
So he's like, well, if you buy it for Mom, she'll love you for her birthday. I'll get my commission and I can afford my compressor and then I can drive around town.
Wow, he is maneuvering the whole situation.
Yeah.
Guy, he sounds like your kid.
Well, in that area, maybe a little
yes,
bit. He was trying to hustle it up, but he's got a little bit better attitude today. So, these days he's kind of settled, but he was really scared and upset and goes, I just don't know what to do. He called his older brothers and said, I'm in trouble. And they went, you backed yourself in a corner with Dad. You're done. Because they told him, we've been thrown out. We've been thrown out of that house. They're not fucking around with you. You can't do what you're supposed to. Get out. Yeah. And don't think they won't. We've all been tossed. So he really all of a sudden took it seriously. He's still fighting being lazy, but he's getting some of it.
He's getting a little better, I have to say. So. I want to tell you, the last couple weeks have been okay with the shower door little hieroglyphics.
Right.
Until today.
Yeah. But
I took a shower this morning. Yeah. I walk in there and there it is.
You're welcome.
What was it?
A birthday cake.
Oh my God.
Candles. I wrote happy birthday. What do you mean? What was it? I quit drawing on the shower because you made such a fucking crybaby fit about it. So I thought I'd surprise you. I drew like stuff for your birthday and you're still bitching about it. You see, that's just the truth. There's no pleasing a woman. There is no pleasing a woman. I'm telling you. They're not. We could
go back to not doing that because as I'm taking a shower, I'm cleaning the shower this morning. I told you I didn't want to do a damn thing today.
You started off by cleaning the shower.
And I started out by cleaning the shower. Thanks a lot.
Hey, so I heard that for those of you who don't know, the kid was invited to parachute jump with the U.S. Army Rangers Golden Knights. And he had to go through a vetting process, but I just heard, did I get this right? He passed the second level.
Yes.
So now he's on to the final thing, and if he gets it, he gets to jump out of an airplane with a parachute with the Golden Knights in Las Vegas.
Yes, in August. So we're waiting for that. He's pretty pumped about that. I told him that he made the second round. He goes, I didn't know there were multiple rounds. I go, I didn't either, but I'm just letting you know that you went into the second round.
I think it's going to be great if he gets to get a second round of the draft. I think it'd be great if he gets to go do that. That's going to be fun to film, and they give you videos. They say they have a photographer that jumps and takes pictures of you.
Maybe we should take his girlfriend Addie so she can see. That might be her last time seeing him or something. I don't know.
Well, there's so much going on. Then we have the water ski thing, the Water Ski Nationals event in Arvin, and they're part of the thing of getting us to go out there, Gen X Talks, to go put up a booth and wander around the crowd and talk to people. They agreed to give the kid water ski lessons. So
he has that part in me. I used to water ski all the time.
Yeah, you were much better at water skiing than I was when we were younger by a lot.
So he's got that.
So he wants to go do that bad. But see, we just did the big barbecue on the 1st. Today we have the podcast and all the work today, plus the show tonight. Tomorrow morning we do the World Show. Then we have the Garage Show at night. Yeah. Then Saturday we have to race down to Burbank for Haywood Nelson, and it's
the Hollywood Show.
Yeah, there's
That's
in
the
Burbank.
Name of it. HollywoodShow.com. We're not there. We're not guests or anything. We're just going down there.
We're spectators, but Haywood Nelson asked us to use Dwayne on what's happening. He asked us to be part of it and kind of support him and go down there. So we're going to. But we're fans, and there's Adam 12 and emergency actors and actresses. I Dream of Jeannie, all the shows from the 70s and 80s.
Lindsay Wagner and Lee Majors.
All these people are down there, so I'm going to be geeking out.
Yes,
there's so many people down there I want to go see. So we do that all day. Then we try to get back up here for the Bottom of the Glass Nation show Saturday night. Then we wake up Sunday morning and we're on the road to Reno.
Yes, we are.
We got to get to Reno, see the Sun Valley Fox. We're looking for property. Then on the 10th, Dr. McDreamy and you are having a big birthday dinner at one of the big steakhouses. We do that. Then on the 11th, we meet the fans. Again, if anybody's in Reno on the 11th, we're going to be at the GSR, the Crystal Lounge. We'll just pick a spot like we did before. Anybody who can stop by, who wants to come by, we'll be there. And when last time we had, we started out I think we ended up with 20 different people that came through.
Yeah, we did.
Just a small gathering, but it was nice. Yeah. So we'll go have some drinks and do that, and then we're back here. But that's
the marathon.
That's like the next 7 days. We're doing 1, 2 to 3, 4 things a day. Yeah.
And then we're home for a week, and then we're off to VidCon. Do you realize that? I think we're all 2 weeks.
Not even that, because on the 22nd, we have to go to Torrance for that big culture.
Yeah, that's the weekend before. I know, this month is just absolutely
We got a lot going on. Then we're down in VidCon for 4 days, and I know there's something in between we're missing.
Then it's 4th of July, then we're back in Reno.
Really?
Yes, we are.
Wow. So we do have a lot going on, but I want you to notice something. We're not missing content. We're not. I have been making sure that we're putting out all the stuff. The kid has been making sure the shorts go out. The 2-minute, we just picked up 2-minute drills again.
Yeah.
I'm not saying no to any of the interviews. We're turning out the content for anybody who is even a marginal fan of Gen X Talks.
Yeah, and we want you guys to know it's really the 3 of us. We have moderators, but when it comes to
well, we got to grind out these things.
The nuts and bolts of us, it's the 3 of us.
Unless Trippy wants to move in
yeah, exactly.
and start doing stuff every day, it's just the 3 of us in studio. So yeah, we're not wimping out on content.
Yeah, this isn't a big operation.
We could say, we're really busy, you guys. There's not going to be any content this month. No. Trying very hard to make sure there's always stuff out there.
I just want people to know we don't have people a big organization that's working for us
No,
that other creators have.
But I will tell you this, like Sammy Joe, I've given her assignments on the outside to go track stuff down, and she has built things. Ashley does all of our intros and updates. She does that footwork. Trippy plugs himself in so many places.
He's the utility player.
He's the utility player. He absolutely does it everywhere.
Yes.
He does the gaming. He spends hours in Discord. The only difference is that we don't have anybody right here helping us do the nuts and bolts, this stuff here. So it's
in-house. It's just the three of us, just so everybody knows. It's just us.
Just us.
Just us. So you don't want to round out our podcast with a car story?
Was there something we forgot? It seemed like we were going to tell him something. Did I make fun of Low Torque appropriately?
I think you did just fine, babe.
Just
fine. I want a car story. I want to get on with my birthday. It's half over already. Almost.
I think you're living your best birthday life by starting by cleaning up the soapy shower.
No, I
think
don't.
That was a great thing.
No, I don't.
Okay, I thought of something this morning.
What are you buying me for lunch? What are you making me for dinner?
Excuse me.
Do I get my cupcake tonight?
You will get a cupcake.
Man, I get shit.
I'll get you a cupcake for my little cupcake.
Oh, yay.
Well,
yeah, I got a pool
pump, a waterfall pump. Yeah, that was very expensive.
That was hot.
That means I'm in it for the long haul. I'll be around for a lot of birthdays when I give you as a present a pool pump.
Oh, yeah, I get it for a year and then we're leaving. Way to go.
We'll take pictures.
The thing that keeps on giving.
We'll have you sit next to the pump and put your arm around the pump. We'll take some pictures.
How rude.
We'll frame the pictures and put them in our next house. You can remember your pool pump.
There was
fondly.
a time I got these beautiful gifts, You
should have stayed the girlfriend.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So I thought
Good
of
times
when you
with
asked me about the car story, I thought of one that was it's really kind of dumb. It's a stupid car story.
Then why are you mentioning it?
Okay, we don't have to. We can just end the show.
Just go.
There was this guy working at the Mazda dealership in Las Vegas, and so this was in the early 90s, and there was a truck that came in, and we couldn't figure it would run shitty or shut off on the guy randomly. And this guy was a regular customer. He'd bought a bunch of cars. He knew the owner of the dealership, so his whole thing was, you got to fix it. We got to get it up there. We got to get it running, whatever it takes. And we're like, great, you brought it to us on a Friday. So this guy, Gary, was an older mechanic, and he really smart guy. And he was working on this thing. It was running great. And we would drive it out on the street, and sometimes it would stumble and chug and run horrible. We'd bring it back, and it would start running good again, or it'd be in the stall running like shit, and all of a sudden start running great out of nowhere. And you couldn't get many codes, much computer help back then in the early 90s. You can get some, but when it started running bad, it gave every code. It gave a code for every system failure, and you're like, oh my God. So we knew the guy was coming back, and we'd had it all day. And Gary had been working on it all day. I was working on my stuff, but I'd come over and help him, but wasn't much help. We didn't find it. And then we knew this guy was coming back. We knew it was going to be a situation with the owner and the service manager. And, they're like, Jesus Christ, you're the dealership. You're the dealership mechanics. You've had this thing, 8 hours. What are you doing? And it's called no-code drivability when you don't have any leads. You don't have the computer helping you. You just got to go back to old school and figure it out. All of a sudden, this is like maybe 4 o'clock in the afternoon. The thing's running perfectly, and all of a sudden we're looking at everything under the hood again, like we've been doing off and on all day. The truck starts chugging and running horribly. Gary reaches over, and he grabs a big wiring harness where it goes from the engine through the firewall into where you're sitting. You have fuse blocks under your dash and stuff. There's always a big wire loom that goes through. For some reason, he grabbed that and he pulled on it. And as he was pulling on it, the car smoothed out and ran perfect.
What made him do that?
Desperation.
Okay.
Because you're out of ideas. You start grabbing things and wiggling stuff and try to find a loose ground or a bad wire.
Okay.
So he pushes the wire loom back the other way, and it stumbles and runs like shit. We grab this big wiring harness, we pull it towards the fender, towards us, and things smooth out.
Okay.
So we're like, okay, now we know it's either we can tear this wiring loom open and start looking for a bad wire, something broken, something disconnected, or maybe it goes through the firewall, maybe where that connection is. But we know where it is now. It's right in this area. But you could still be 3 or 4 hours from finding it.
Oh, God.
And we're down to the limit. Well, so Gary's in there hooking up his little computer to it, and I'm going to grab the wires and move it. He's going to try to get some readings off the computer to see if we can tell something. And so it's running like shit, and he's getting hooked up. And right then, the owner, the service manager, the owner of the car, the customer, the service manager, and the owner of the dealership come walking over.
Oh, shit.
Now,
Did you tell him to go back?
I can't tell the owner of the car dealership to go back.
Kid, go.
And at this time, the owner of the car dealership was married to the mayor of Las Vegas.
Oh, great.
So as you fuck up, you can just get
Great.
tossed out of town. You won't get a job or anything. So they come walking up to the other side of the car, and the owner and the service manager start talking me up. I'm like, well, I'm not working on it. Gary is. And the more they talk to me about how great I am and what a great mechanic I am and blah, 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 I'm thinking, this sucks. I'm not even working on it, and it's not going to get fixed. The car's sitting here in front of everybody running like shit, and I'm going to be the one in trouble. It wasn't even my job today. I'm just here helping.
Yeah.
And Gary's not coming out of the truck because he knows what's going on. He's like, fuck that. Good. They're
Going
blaming
on
you.
you.
Right.
Yeah,
So I'm
got
like,
it.
this isn't my stall. These aren't my tools. I walked over here to help. But you can't say any of that because the owner and the service manager, the customer's not buying any of it. He's just sitting there going,
Why isn't it fixed?
He's waiting for them to shut up so I can start talking. And I had nowhere else to go with this. I knew what was going on. The car's running like shit. I knew what we were doing.
But you didn't have the problem solved.
No, and I couldn't tell him what it was. So he goes, look, I said, look, we don't have it solved completely. And I said, we can make it run better. I didn't tell him how. I said, but we can't quite, we're still working on it. He goes, I just needed to work this weekend. I promise I'll bring it back Monday. I'll leave it with you for a week.
Oh, God.
But I got to have it this. Now, I'm thinking, why doesn't somebody rent this motherfucker a car? Why does it have to be this truck?
Yeah, why does it have to be that truck?
So the owner looks at me, and he knew who I was. We weren't like close friends, but we were friendly.
Yeah.
And he goes, listen, this is my friend. I just need you to make this thing.
Is he getting married in it?
I don't know what he was doing.
Oh, okay.
But the owner looks at me and goes, I just need you to pull every magic trick out of your hat you can and make this thing go. And I said, okay, I will, but you got to leave me alone about it. Don't give me a bunch of shit. And he goes, we won't say anything. I said, all right.
So walk away.
No, I closed my eyes. I grabbed the harness like I was praying to it.
Oh, God.
And I moved it the way Gary had moved it with my eyes closed. And I'm like turning my head.
You're so full of shit.
And it smoothed out. And I opened my eyes. I just held it there. And I opened my eyes and they went, oh my God. Gary's looking, oh, you're so full of shit right now.
That's what I
Gary's
just
like,
said.
you are so full of shit. You did not just do that to the owner. I said, and I'm holding it going, I can make this thing run for the weekend, but that's it. You got to bring it back Monday. The customer, the service manager, and the owner of the company, their eyes were as big as saucers. And
I call bullshit.
and he goes, okay, so give me half an hour. I'll make this permanent, and then I'll see you on Monday. So they leave. The service manager comes back like in 10 seconds after they all walked around the corner. He goes, the service manager wasn't stupid. He knew cars. He's like, what happens when you let go? And I let go of it and it quit. And it ran shitty. He goes, that's what I thought. I didn't think you were praying on it. He goes, you found a connector. I go, well, we know it's in this area, but we can't tear this apart tonight. And he goes, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to take a bungee cord and I'm going to cinch this wiring harness over to one side real hard. And then when he comes back Monday, we'll tear it apart. And I said, I hope it lasts all weekend for the guy. If he's going off-roading, it won't. And so I think he was going to like St. George, Utah or something. But the owner of that place, he gave me every raise I ever asked for after that.
Oh, my God.
He absolutely called me the car whisperer, every name he could because of that. And then Gary was pissed. I said, you weren't coming out here to bail me out when you thought I was going to get in trouble. But now that I look like a hero, you want to run out and tell everybody you found the short?
I call bullshit.
I said, you should have been out here fucking around. I should have been sitting in there then. This was your job. Yeah, we just pulled the harness. And that happens. There's lots of mechanics out there that are hearing this going, yeah, sometimes you grab the... It was no big mystery once we saw that it did that. Every mechanic has gone through that.
Those guys are idiots if they believe that story.
They absolutely thought that I was grabbing on that thing and just willing the car back to
I've
run.
got some property on the moon they can have too, but whatever.
It's a true story. You find that old guy Gary to this day, and he will tell you the exact same story, only he uses more cuss words than I did. But yeah, he told that story. Well, everybody told that story for years after that. But by the time I left the dealership, that was still one we talked about at the Christmas parties.
Oh my gosh.
What? I know I told you it was a dumb
me a
story.
headache.
I told you it was a dumb story. It was just you when mechanics find a wiring harness, then when you wiggle it, you know where it is. And
right.
sometimes you get lucky.
All right.
Can we be done now?
Yes, please. Let's stop this bullshit.
All right. Well, then I guess the only thing left to do is say goodnight, Gracie.
Only thing left to do is to go enjoy my birthday.
I got to be honest. I'm kind of thinking that the highlight of your birthday is already over.
Wow.
You know, you got your fist bump from me at 1 a.m. Oh, well, I do owe you a couple kisses. So, yeah, well, I think you still got the best part.
You better spread those out because you don't want to give them all in one shot,
Let's see. It's coming up on, let's do one at noon. We'll do one at 3 in the afternoon.
Lord.
I'll order you a pizza. We're good.
Goodbye.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
Say goodbye, Gracie.
Goodbye. Goodbye, Gracie.
There you go. All right. Listen, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening on kgxtradio.com. For all of you who weren't listening live, I will have to edit out all the bullshit in this, but then you can catch up with it later. Thank you for tuning in. Not sure where you're listening in from around the planet, AM, FM, Sirius XM, or perhaps along the Armed Service Radio Network. Remember two things. Wherever you go, there you are, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side.